I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing guest. She's currently performing as Rumpleteazer in the South Africa tour, which is now, I think, just the international tour. So welcome, Tannah Levick, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have you because this is like, you are on a break right now when we're recording this. I know you just finished in South Africa, but you're going like all over the world, including a bunch of places where I lived for a period of time. I lived in Singapore for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
So I cannot wait for you all to experience that region of the world. And for cats to be back in that region of the world because they love it there.
Yes, no, they love it there. I mean, some fans are already following us on Instagram and TikTok. I mean, every person I've met, their like whole TikTok For You page is just cats. So people are really following us. It's quite cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with your cat's history. When was the first time you saw it and got introduced to the show?
So I think that, I can't remember, but when I was young, I saw a DVD of Cats, the like original DVD videotape.
The 1998 movie. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have like a vivid like memory of it, but I just remember, I don't know, I just, you know, when you have like just a memory of it. And I thought, wow, this looks like a hard show. It looks like a hard show to do. And then there was a production of it in South Africa. I think it was one of the first shows in South Africa, one of the first musicals here, if I'm not wrong.
Really?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
That would be right. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yes, Peter Turin bought Cats here, and it had many of my mentors now in that original production. And I just remember seeing it as a kid, and like a really, really young child, and being like, wow, it was just mesmerizing. You just remember being mesmerized by the show. And then when I was at college, when I was studying musical theater at NAMTA, we did a lot of like rep classes, and the rep classes consisted of cats. But I remember when I was doing that, I was like, I hate this show. I was like, this show is too hard. It is just, and then I remember sometimes coming home and my mom would ask me, how's college and whatever. I'm never doing Cats. It's too hard. And then here I am in Cats. But I love it now. I really do. It's changed my life, this show.
Yeah. How old were you when you saw it on stage the first time? Were you really young, or was it kind of like the teenage years?
I think I was young, like 7.
Young. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have this like moment, you love it, you know it. It's like, you want to be in musical theater, so it's like kind of a dream. And then you get to college and you're like, this is so hard. I don't know how people are doing this 8 times a week.
Oh my goodness. And we were just doing like sections of the ball in like a
not even the full thing.
No.
Just like pieces of it.
Oh my goodness. And I was like, I hate this. I was like, but I think that, I don't know what switched, but I gained a lot of respect for the show. And our mentors, Matt Krazan and Talia Burtz, who taught us the show, had a different sort of like approach and respect for the show. And you immediately, when your mentors that teach you the show have this like love for it, you immediately are more invested. So I've learned that it all, your love for the show all depends on how it's taught to you.
Completely. Because it's pretty weird. So if you're not like used to it or ready for it or knew that kind of stuff growing up, like there's that fandom, then the first time you see it it can be a little jarring probably to learn it. But when you've got these people that are, have been, Matt and Talia, they've been in a bunch of productions and they really know the show super well. They bring a different energy to show the story and kind of all the layers to it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's still moments when I'm doing the show after we've already done about like 77 shows, and there's certain moments that Matt and Talia taught us in the show, and they said, this is a moment where you're like, oh, I'm in Cats. Like I'm in Cats. So I still have those moments in certain parts of the show, specific parts of the ball, and it's amazing. Oh, I love it.
What are those moments?
So there's certain parts of the choreography where like they have different names. So we do that move in Copeland. That moment, it's just like, I'm in Cats. And
we do the arm back. And
yeah. And then when we go, it's just like, I'm in Cats. And then the lights change and you feel the lights change. And the moment in Act 2 where we just stand, that's also an I'm in Cats moment. It's those specific moments. And obviously, when I come on for Mango Jerry and Rumpleteazer, I still get nervous every time. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we'll come back to some of the performances and stories and fun there. But when you got the show, you know, like you've learned to become, super fan and love it and everything about it. But did you have kind of that moment where like, I didn't want to do this, but now I got the job and now I'm like really excited? And like, what was that from audition to getting the job kind of moment like?
Yeah. So in South Africa, everyone kind of goes for every audition, but I'm sure that's how it is in every...
I think that's kind of everywhere now.
Yeah, so even if I was not keen on Cats or Chicago, you kind of go to the audition because you can't control what you are destined for. That's just what I've learned. And I really enjoyed the audition. I was like really surprised by that. And then I kind of said to myself, okay, Tannah, like let's just reel it in. And I said, if there's any role that I want, what do I want in this crazy show? I said, I want Rumpleteazer. So I said to myself and I said to my agents, I want Rumpleteazer or I'm not doing the show.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think I would have done it if I didn't get Rumpleteazer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was that something that like you as a child, that was like the cat you gravitated towards? Or is it just like as you've been, learning theater in college, everything, just being like, this is the perfect role for me?
I just knew it was me. I had no, I mean, even in our audition, we didn't have Chrissy Cartwright or the international team with us. And so our resident director, Dwayne Alexander, was taking videos. So he was sending them overseas. And I remember in the one video, they were making us do like cartwheels and tricks and stuff. And I kind of like finished the cartwheel and like pulled my tongue at the camera and I was like, oh my God, why did I do that? But it was like a tick.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine said to me after the audition, he was like, you're going to get Rumpleteazer just because of that. And I was like, what? It's just like a silly little quirky thing that I did. And I just loved the character. I always am drawn to what's hardest and like something full of personality.
Yeah, that's definitely, there's a few characters, like they all have very unique personalities.
Yes.
But there are a few that I'm like, you kind of get to have a lot of fun with them. And Rumpleteazer, Mungo Jerry, Tugger, like some of those are the ones where you really get to kind of play around. But so you get the job. And I always go back to like the rehearsal room when you're learning the story.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Because like you probably didn't know the depth of the Cat's actual plot watching it and doing pieces of it in college. So what was that moment like where you got to learn the story?
Yeah, well, I remember in rehearsals when I got there and I said to my friends, what's your character's name? Like, I didn't know anyone but Rumpleteazer.
Yeah.
I was like, huh? Like, what is, and I knew, it's just so funny. I probably knew the least out of everyone, but now I probably know more than anyone there just because I got obsessed with it. I just got completely obsessed. But I remember the first few days we had like a video call with Chrissy and Harry and Phoebe, who are the UK members in our cast, were not in South Africa yet because of visa situation. So they were also on Zoom. And then Chrissy was giving us our adjectives and describing our characters and the story. And yeah, I just remembered being so detailed. And I was like, wow, this is actually amazing. And I was really locked in. For someone so ADHD, I was very locked in. So it was really, really interesting. So we spent a lot of time doing that sort of thing for the first few days, is like knowing the characters and really like where it comes from and, you know, about Gillian Lynn and just the history of cats. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, was there a moment when you were listening that you were like, I never would have thought about that. Like that part of the story or
all of it.
All of it. Yeah, just 100%.
Pretty much all of it. Because sometimes I feel like if you don't know details of the show and you don't, at the end of the day, I always tell people that the story is based off a book of poems. So it's like, you know, if you go and see a Shakespeare, you should probably go and research a little bit. It takes, you have to be intellectual like about it. You know, it's not just a sort of, there is deeper meaning and it's poetry. So, you know, if you're going to go and see Hamlet, or you're going to go and do a little bit of research before you watch it, because it's not like direct. So, yeah.
No, you're totally right, because you could do, but I think the beauty of Cats is you could do both. You could either do a lot of research and be informed and kind of understand a little bit of what you're watching, or you could do none and just go appreciate the dancing.
Exactly.
And like you could do both. And I think like my challenge was I did none, and then I got there and realized, as someone who does not know, I could see how physically demanding and challenging the dancing is, but I don't know how difficult that is. I don't dance. I'm not a dancer or singer. Like, so I was impressed, but I was also was like, this looks really hard. But I then walked out trying to spend too much time where I should have done some research, because it would have helped me follow along what I was watching.
Yeah.
But I do like the beauty of that. You don't need to. You could watch it in any language and you'll probably still follow the general story arc, whether you speak the language or not. And that's, I think, another beauty of Cats.
Yeah, I agree, actually. So if you can tear it apart and find a lot of meaning and so many different like plots, and this one's connected to this one and this one's family with this one, or you can just watch it and appreciate it, because at the end of the day, it is a spectacle. And that's also what I love about it.
Totally. So you said you're now obsessed. How did you start your deep dive? Like, how did you figure out, like, where did you go to research and read and do everything you can to figure out what was going
your
on?
Podcast. I would be on my way to rehearsals every day with a new podcast on, every day. And I would be so like confused, because I'm like, no, but yesterday we said this and yesterday you said that. But now I thought Victoria was the reborn cat, and now this one's saying this, but no, but I like that theory. So I'm going to go with that theory. So, and I would bring that information into the rehearsal room. I think sometimes people would get a little bit annoyed with me, but I was like, no, I have to tell these people they're part of this show with me. We have to know. So some people would always laugh at me, but I loved it. I loved that moment of me doing research, listening to your podcast, because there isn't like a lot of information out there, I guess, if you want to do your own research. But we also obviously learned what Chrissy was telling us in the room, and everything you learned in the room, and whatever your interpretations you brought to the room. So that obviously I got a lot from your podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. I
love it.
That was something I never expected. And I learned that probably 2 or 3 years ago, that a regional production in Atlanta was doing that. Yeah. That's the first time I'd ever heard that, where I was like, oh, that makes sense. And so I've actually told people when, this, obviously there's a parody and joke around the theme of this music, but at some point I realized, I'm like, it's not just that. I'm like capturing some of Cat's history from various perspectives.
Yes.
Because there is no right answer to a lot of stuff. And we'll get into your Rumpleteazer question, because that's a character that there are a lot of ways to play that relationships for different cats.
And I have a very interesting answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a cool part about this. And I think that's, the more I've interviewed people that have helped direct and put on the show and teach the show, the more I've also realized where they're like, we don't really care that much about this, because we want every production to be slightly different.
Yes.
Like we want the core to be the same. We want people to still see Cats, but it takes the people to figure out what version they want when they're having those other moments. And as long as you're staying within your 3 words and your character, it doesn't really matter if you're viewing that character as a sibling or a relationship or something else, as long as the other moments stay the same. And I kind of love the beauty of that. And like you're saying, like I've had people tell me Victoria was last year's choice, and then there's no way she was last year's choice, and then she's this person's daughter, and then she's that, like, but there isn't an answer.
And it's kind of crazy that even you and your cast members can have completely different views on the show. Yeah. Like it's so funny. But I think that's also so beautiful about it, is that, and Chrissy had said that to us, she was like, this is your production, because it is kind of stressful doing a production like Cats, where it's like so famous. You feel pressured because Chrissy's worked with so many companies. You're like, oh my goodness, but she was like so amazing, and she was like, this is your production. This is a new show for you guys. This is a different show, and that's also so amazing.
We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died.
So let me hear your Rumpleteazer. Like, what is your story?
So what I figured out was it depends on your partner. Right?
Okay.
So this is my theory, because I never realized this until I had my understudy on with me. So me and Austin plays Mango Jerry. We've known each other for very long because he also studied at Lambda. So we already had like a great friendship and connection. We've known each other for quite a while. And so we were like, no, straight away, they're siblings. Like, that's it.
Okay.
They
brother, sister. Yep.
Because we have that energy between us.
Yeah.
We had no doubt about that. And also Matt and Talia had kind of said, because they taught us before Chrissy had come, they were like, no, they're siblings. Like, they're siblings. So we were like, yes, we thought that. We all on the same page here. Fabulous. And then Chrissy came and she was like, no, they're like lovers. And we were like, what? No. We were like, it's too late for us. We are siblings. But then she explained to us, well, actually, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they're cats. They could be
exactly.
siblings and lovers. And that really screwed my mind up, because I was like, no, I have to make a decision. I'm a Virgo. I need to make a decision. So, but then I had both my Mango Jerry understudies go on during the run. I first had Darren come on with me. He plays Korikopat. Mm-hmm. So with him, it was kind of like Mango Jerry and Rumpleteazer were like friends. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out with him. And when Michael had come on, this was his dream role. So it was such a special moment to share with him. Mango Jerry is his dream role. So I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was crying. I was like, oh my God, it's so amazing to see someone's dream come true. And we were like, no, we're lovers. That's it. You just felt it. We were like, the energy we had between us was so naughty and flirty. So it really does depend on the partner and the energy you have with the partner. I'm convinced.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a lot of it. And that's where the lore of cats comes from. So much of it comes from just relationships off stage.
Yes.
That bleeds into the characters on stage, because you can't really change that. If your best friend is on stage with you and your characters are not supposed to be friends, it's still pretty hard to have those moments where it's like, okay, we're going to still act. Like, we're going to still do your job and stay in character, but it's still like one of your close friends. And so you have those things where a lot of those moments that have happened, and a lot of the lore does come from that.
Yeah.
And so I love hearing that you honestly play it differently just depending on who's there. But does that change also? Because like one of the tours that I talked to had probably the most in-depth Rumpleteazer and Mango Jerry theory, which is that they were dating, they were lovers. Jenny Anidas was the mom, and most of the show was them trying to prove that they should be together. So I forget if it was Rumpleteazer's mom or Mango Jerry's mom, but it was like, meet my boyfriend, meet my girlfriend, and we're trying to make sure that you're going to approve of our wedding type of thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
yeah, no, I've never thought about it like that. It's like I said, it depends on who's on with me. When it's Austin, we're very much siblings, and also a lot of the time, like some people have said that the Rumpleteazer is quite the Mango Jerry is quite dominant over the Rumpleteazer, but in our case, like, I am so naughty towards him. Like, I start everything, and I think it's just me on stage. And I mean, I do things that I really do push it a little bit, and I get in trouble sometimes. And then I'm like, no, well, that was just a choice.
Yeah.
That was a choice.
I think that's a Rumpleteazer's like beauty, though, is that like you're supposed to be mischievous.
Oh my God, I've got in trouble a couple of times where I would take old Deuteronomy's tail and I would like flick it at other cats, and then my director was like, you can't do that. Like, you're pulling the attention. People are supposed to be focused on what's happening there, and people are laughing at Rumpleteazer playing with old Deuteronomy's tail. And I'm like, okay, sorry. Like, I really do take the mischievousness and naughtiness a bit far.
Do you all do green eyes and some of the other like in audience moments? How mischievous do you get in those sections?
Well, with green eyes, it's quite quick. So, and a lot of the time I am on the balcony. So I have to like do it quickly, and so I can rush all the way around to get backstage. But me and Mango do the part before Act 2. We are in the audience, and we go crazy. Me and him, we grab people's programs, we steal them. The one time there was, this was actually in Joburg now, it was quite recent. Someone had like a really beautiful Chanel purse, and I ran up to them and I took the purse. But obviously I went back, but it was just they always say to us that you should stay in character when you're in the audience. So like, I mean, I always see Cassandra, she's also in the audience, she's quite like standoffish. So we really keep to our characters. So people love to have fun with me and Mango. We really do take it a little bit far, but people love it. That's their favorite part. Often people's favorite part about the show is that interaction.
Yeah, because it's kind of also too in the age of social media, it's the spots where people are still like phone out because the show hasn't started yet for Act 2. Yeah. You get some of those fun moments where, and you two are a lot of them because you two are the ones that are causing some chaos.
Yes, and there's so many, I mean, I've seen stickers of me on social media, like people will watch a TikTok and post a sticker of me, and I'm like, wait, what's this? And then I think, oh, that was in the audience. So there's a lot of stickers of me.
Yeah. So speaking of social media, you and Cassiel are having a lot of fun with your vlogging and podcasting and all kinds of other things you're doing. So how, like, obviously a tour is challenging. Like, you're moving around, you're doing a lot of stuff, you're going to a lot of different cities. Like, how has this helped, or has this been kind of like a fun way to just be part of your cast and do other things, or is it just social media because you're enjoying it and having fun? Like, I love the cat social media because I think it's primed for it because you're doing transitions and makeup and you're already in some kind of weird outfits to begin with. But I've loved watching the two of you kind of really have fun with it.
Shane, people have said that it's amazing that people have really loved the rapport between the two of us. And I'm so glad because it's genuine. Like, we have such fun together. And I mean, the reason we originally were in the wig room because we got into a bit of trouble. Our makeup wasn't good enough. So
interesting. Okay.
So we were being monitored, like, for our makeup because everyone else was doing so well. And they were like, no, Tannah, Cassiel, you need to come sit in the wig room and do your makeup because you need to be watched. And then, so originally, actually, the wig ladies were like not fond of us. And now they love us because we just have such fun with them. And so that's how it started because we were doing the makeup not good enough. Because me and her are quite chaotic and all over the place. So, but John, just in general, like, the social media, we all have so much fun with the social media part of it, the TikToks, and it's gone completely viral, which is crazy because, I mean, I'll speak to friends that I haven't seen in months. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I saw Harry and Phoebe and your TikTok, and I'm on Kat's TikTok, and they haven't even seen the show, and they're watching all these Kat TikToks. It's gone so viral. It's crazy.
It does super well because it's a little weird, and so there's like a moment of like the viral moment of like, well, I gotta keep watching because I don't really know what I'm watching. For the non-Cats fans. And then there's a very quiet but mighty Cats fandom that's out there, and then there's a loud versions too. But like there's a lot more Cats fans than you realize. At least than I realize. I don't speak for everyone, but when I started doing this, I knew it was like the longest running Broadway show at the time, and it's been around for 40 plus years, and it's been all over the world. I don't think I knew the level of fandom that the show has, like, in a good way.
Me too.
And it's so fun because they're passionate, and a lot of times they're passionate about very unique things. And my passion is only about one, and it's just the ending. And so the rest is just kind of like, I really enjoy learning how they approach the show and how they think about it and the stories from it. As long, again, with my goal to convince someone to do one night differently. But it's interesting to hear how there's so many levels and depth to it with the cosplayers and the artists and the dancers and just, there's so many levels to it, which is cool. So I'm glad you're reaching them all.
Oh, no, it's such fun. And like us seeing the Australian cast and the European cast, and now there's a cruise ship. I mean, we're all connected. And I actually had a little injury. I've had a couple of injuries, but I had a shoulder injury at the beginning of the rehearsal process. And I reached out to Katie and Savannah. Katie did a tour in China, I think it was last year, a couple of years ago. And Savannah was in the Australian cast of Cats playing Rumpleteazer. And I was like, did you put something with this show? Like, I was like, how can I fix this? And they gave me advice. It was just amazing because I've never experienced being able to like relate to someone in a show that's at the same time as me, playing the exact same character as me. It's such a cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah, when people learn I do this, especially like at work where it's not discussed as often, and then they're like, when can we go see it? I'm like, well, it's really actually not in New York right now. Like the Jellicle Ball is about to start. Jellicle Ball is probably running by the time this comes out. But that's a different version. That's different than Cats.
That looks very different.
But then I kind of, I reply to them because I now, like, people send me every production that's happening. And I was like, when we're recording this, I think a few will be over or by the time this comes out. But when we're recording this right now, you're all on break. The international tour just ended. Royal Caribbean still has theirs going. They're about to change their cast.
Yes.
There's a production in Long Island, just outside of New York, that's happening for about a month. There's a production in Skokie, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago, happening for about a month. Crazy. And there's a production in Florida, in I think Palm Beach, that's happening for like 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
So there's 3 productions just in the United States that I know of.
How amazing.
Which is exactly. It's like these are small regional houses, not dinner theaters and stuff like that. And I know probably 3 or 4 more already that are happening later this year in the United States and various places. And so I'm like, you can see it a lot of places if you're just, at the right time or going around. And I think it's because Cats has not rebuilt a brand. Like it's always been a big brand, but since the US tour stopped, a lot of licenses have popped up in the US for people. And then since the international tours now, you're all going to different places. So it's kind of everywhere if you really want to find it.
Yes, it really is. It's amazing. And I've loved being able to reach out to other Rumpleteazers. And it's such a great feeling being like, did you struggle with this part? Yes, Tannah, I struggled with that part. Do this. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
It is a big Jellicle family. It's the amount of people that are like, yes, once you've done it, you're part of like their the group that's done it. That's kind of, and it feels like a little bit like you've suffered through it because it's so demanding that like you've made it to the other side, or you're in the process of doing that it's, once you've got it on your resume as like a thing.
Yeah. And I've realized that once you have Cats on your resume, people have a different sort of respect for you as a performer. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. So, wow. Okay, I want to hear some fun stories from your first, you said 77 shows. So what are the things from this first leg of the tour that you're never going to forget?
Oh, well, I'll never forget when Mr. Mistopheles got stuck up at the top there. Oh my goodness, we had a show stop. It was crazy. He got stuck.
Just didn't drop down?
We had to stop the show because the thingy wasn't working, so he couldn't come down. And then the tire didn't work at the end of that show. It was crazy. So we had the backup plan we had to do, and I was on with the cover, so the cover didn't know the backup plan. Oh my goodness, it was crazy. I was like, "Let's cover me." But
isn't the backup plan just walking off stage, right, for Grisabella?
Yes, but the Manga J and Rumpleteazer, we got up the ladder, so it's
okay.
Oh, you're going the wrong way. And then recently, February the 13th, it was a Friday the 13th. We had a show.
Yeah.
And we were all just like, you just get scared on Friday the 13th. It was like, we're doing a show. It's Friday the 13th. There was actually a bat that flew out one of the curtains or somewhere, and the bat was flying across the whole stage during that show. And it was so distracting. I was so scared that in Mango J and Rumpleteazer, it was flying low. It was the weirdest thing. We were all like freaking out. We were like, how are we even going to like get rid of this bat? It was there for the next like 2 shows as well. It was crazy.
As a cat, playing a cat, are you supposed to like bat at it if it flies by you, or are you just trying to avoid it?
No, we were just trying to avoid it. And I mean, I get the giggles. So I'm like, I can't even look up. Like at the beginning of Act 2, it's like flying around, and I just like put my head down. I'm like giggling. Like I was like, no, this can't be happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just imagine you doing your cartwheels and it's like one kick and you take it out.
Oh my goodness. That was actually my worst fear. And I was so scared. Because before that number, I'm like a different person. I'm like stressed I'm like freaking out. I'm like, okay, no. Because every time you do it, you have to focus, especially Mango J and Rumpleteazer. You can't like lose focus for a second. Like,
yeah, because it's only you two. Like all eyes are on you two. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I always say, and it's not just because I'm playing Rumpleteazer, but Rumpleteazer and Mango Jerry are two of the hardest characters in the show to play because especially Act 1, the way that you go from your number into the ball is a different level of fitness because the ball in itself is just so hard.
Yeah. So, and you get like what, a half a second break to run off and then come right back in.
And you've got to change. So it's not like you're breathing, you're changing, you're getting out of the number piece, you're getting back into your normal. So it's exhausting. I remember the first time we did it, I was like, how are we going to do this 8 shows a week?
Yeah.
And you do.
For months and months and months.
Yeah.
When you are, because you two hide essentially before your number.
Yes.
Do you have like a calming mechanism before to kind of like get yourself ready to go on stage?
Oh yeah, we have a whole ritual. So, and I'll tell you the ritual. So basically we change and because I'm quite like, I have to do the exact same thing. So then I put a mint into my mouth and I make sure that it's a strong mint so it like opens up everything. And then I have like a Vicks stick and I stick it into my nose so I open up everything there. Because I find that if I'm getting tired and I can smell like the Vicks on my nose, it distracts me and I'm like not thinking about how tired I am. And then Austin is waiting by the boots, behind the boot there with the 2 bags because from rehearsals, he has to give me the bag. I don't know, it was just a thing. Like he has to give me the bag and he has to give me the bag with the thicker rope. Otherwise, I won't take it. I don't know. It's just such a crazy thing that we came up with. So he gives me the bag. Then I quickly do like a little splits. And then I say a little prayer. I say, oh, please just let me get through this number. and then I always have to end the prayer with, and Austin, and let him also get through. Because sometimes he's like, what about me? So, and then we go on.
I love everything about that. That is
so specific.
That is so fun. But I mean, it's superstitions are like a part of everything. Like it's such a big thing in sports and other stuff. So I was not surprised. I've heard so many performers that have that. And so that's why I was kind of like, what's yours?
Yeah.
I do want to go back to ask you one other question because you said it very quickly, and I did an entire episode about this. I don't know if you found this episode. Oh, no. Not. But you mentioned that you're a Virgo.
I am a Virgo.
I don't know anything about astrology, but I was fascinated because I found somebody that plotted all of the cats by their signs. And then I had somebody on for an episode to kind of talk through, like someone who writes the...
Actually, me and Cassiel spoke about this. We spoke about what we think each cat's astrology sign is.
That's my question for you. So what do you think is Rumpleteazer?
She's a Leo.
A Leo. Interesting.
Yes.
So this person that mapped it out, I have no idea if it's true or not. It's just in the headcanon thing. Has her as a Virgo, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe she's a Virgo sun, Leo rising. Yeah. Maybe.
That was first time I learned about that was the episode I recorded with you on it. So but I have to go back to see what Yo said because she writes the horoscopes for Playbill, and I had her on to basically try to assess all the cats, and so we did a full episode about that.
Amazing.
But I love that like again the level of fandom is that somebody went through every cat and tried to decide what they would be.
Me and Cassiel spoke about it. We were like, no, Victoria is a Cancer. She's soft. She's very emotional. And what did we say? Mango. Did we say Mango was maybe he was a Leo? I'm not sure, but we went through everyone. It was such fun.
Every single person.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Oh my goodness.
Do you now, I mean, if you don't do this, you should. This should be your party trick. But as you're meeting friends, are you like, this is what cat you'd be? Like,
oh my goodness, I should do that. I should do that. But I sound crazy because friends that don't know cats, they're like, Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah. But people, some, there's going to be a group that knows cats. And if not, it's like, this would be when you watch the show, when you come see your friend do this show, here's who you should watch. And then they're either going to be like, that's me, or they're going to be offended by what you recommended.
Yeah.
There's no middle.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do that. But it's something so random, but it's quite crazy how many people actually recognize me. And like, I was in a Pilates class yesterday, and this girl comes up to me afterwards and she goes, "Were you Rumpleteazer?" And I was like, how did she even see that? Like, without your makeup, it is so confusing. How would she even? But there's quite a big fandom now, so it's amazing.
Yeah. That is impressive. I do think that's like one of the maybe interesting parts of Cats is when you walk out onto a stage door, is like there is a little bit of, I'm not sure which one you could have played, like, because you're in such a different state with the wigs and the makeup and everything, that it is a little bit more not hidden, but like you're not just like you on stage in a wig or something. Like, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Cool. Did you say yes, or you're like, nope, different person?
No, I was like, it's me. No, I'm very like, oh, it's me. Yes, come take a photo. Huh? Like, very like, yeah. Oh no, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm that's, my sister, even we spoke this morning and we were just asking each other random questions because we were at breakfast and we saw this one Instagram thing, ask your sibling this question. And she said, is there anything like you look like you do that you shouldn't be doing? She's like, Tannah, you look exactly like you would be doing theater. You are that. There's nothing unpredictable about you. You are what you are. So
you look like you're doing theater. You look like you should be Rumpleteazer. You are Rumpleteazer.
Yeah. So I love it. When people come up to me, I'm like, yes, let's take 5 photos. In fact, can I have a photo with you so I can show that I had a fan?
Yeah. That's awesome. What are you most looking forward to on the next leg of this tour? Like, you're going to a lot of places that have been announced. I think some more that will be announced in due time. What's kind of most exciting as you go to these other countries?
Well, I'm just also excited to do the show again. I love the show so much. It's so fulfilling doing it. And I think that, exploring another country is always fun, especially with your cast. And we have a beautiful, fun, amazing cast. The like mix of people is always so important. So it's going to be so much fun staying in a hotel. Like, feels like one big sleepover with your friends and doing the thing that you love and exploring another city. It's all so exciting.
It's so fun. There's a few places I've been that I wish I could go back to and spend time with. You're going to some amazing cities.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died.
Let's do some rapid fire to close us out here. So if you could go on one night, it doesn't matter what character, male, female, body type, dance ability, singing ability, just doesn't matter. I asked that because I can't do any of them. Who do you want to play for one night?
Demeter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are your favorite and least favorite cats from a personality standpoint? So like, which one would you love to hang out with and which one would bug you?
Sometimes Gus bugs me so much, but maybe that's just because the number takes so long. It takes so long. And who I would want to hang out with is Bambi. She's so cool. I love her.
Yeah. That's why you want to be Demeter.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen him. I didn't even know that. Wow. Yeah. Favorite
song in the show?
Well, obviously Mungager and Rumpleteazer, but I'm thinking besides for that, McCavity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You're ready for that role.
Well, I covered Demeter, so it was such fun doing it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I always ask one fun one, and you said that, you've got your fans coming up to you in Pilates. So which cat would be the best Pilates instructor?
Ooh. I'm thinking Victoria because of that leg. I'm thinking Victoria.
Immediately able to do all that stuff.
Yeah. I think Victoria.
Okay.
Yeah.
$1 million question. So I've argued at length that I don't think Grisabelle is the right Jellicle choice. So I want to hear you, Tannah, so not Rumpleteazer, although it seems like you have a lot of Rumpleteazer vibes in your life.
Yes.
But who is your Jellicle choice and why?
So there's parts of me that do agree with you because I find Grisabella sometimes quite like the victim, and that annoys me. I don't like that about when people are like, I'm the victim, wah. Like, because Bombi and Demeter also got out. They escaped McCavity. So that also annoys me. But then I'm like, oh, she just sings such a beautiful song, so she deserves it. But so there are two parts of me. There's a part of me that doesn't think that she deserves it, and the part of me that does. But if there was anyone else, I would say take Gus. Just take him.
Take Gus.
He's old.
He needs to go.
His number
You just
is
don't want to do the
long.
number anymore.
Just take him. He's old. He's sweet. He is sweet. And he's just got a lot to say. So just take him.
Can you say a little bit more about the victim card? Because I think that's really interesting that she's, Bomb and Demeter have the very similar story and got out, but Grisabella didn't. So is that do you play that thought on stage at all as Rumpleteazer, or just just this lady again?
Yeah, I mean, that's my backstory about it. I find that it's quite like, I'm the victim, feel sorry for me. Everyone must feel sorry for me. I am, but like we said, Bombi got out, Demeter got out, and why can't you fix yourself up and come back into the tribe? Maybe that's when we would welcome you back. But then also at the same time in my head, I'm like, but why are we also judgmental? And maybe that causes her to be like this. It's like a cycle. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think that's part of what you want to be doing. That's part of the whole story arc of the redemption and everything, which is you do have this animosity in the beginning, and then you're supposed to throughout the show kind of build this okay, we do want to accept her.
Yeah.
But do you have any relationship to Grisabella as Rumpleteazer? Do you play anything in there, or just part of the tribe?
So sometimes me and Austin, there was a moment where we were like, maybe she's our mom, but I don't think so. But so I actually don't think Rumpleteazer has a connection to her, but she looks at Grisabella and thinks, gosh, I don't want to be like that. So I'm naughty, but I'm not that type of naughty. Yeah. Me and Scarlett plays Jemima. We say that there is a bit of rebelliousness to Jemima, because I also do cover Jemima. And we were like, okay, well, we were talking one day and we were like, well, where is the difference between Jemima's rebelliousness versus Rumpleteazer? And we said, well, Jemima is the type of girl that if she's not careful, she will end up like Grisabella on drugs. And Rumpleteazer is just naughty. She's just naughty and steals things, and she's mischievous. There's a big difference between that naughtiness, sweet, funny, quirky, versus actually someone who's can be really pulled into a dark side.
Yeah.
So
I've always thought that Mungo Jerry and Rumpleteazer have a little bit of the rich parents, and
we always
not
say that.
Really, they're not really. Yeah, they're not really that bad. They're just kind of, they know that they can get in a little bit of trouble because they're not going to get in real trouble, but they're not actually going to do anything really wrong because they know
here's
better.
My theory. I'm going to give you what I use every night and I think about. So my theory is that Rumpleteazer and Mungo Jerry and Rumpleteazer they do come from a rich family. They have collars. We learned that the cats that have collars are owned, and the cats that don't are stray cats. So you have to think, okay, well, we own, so we must come from some sort of thing. So I believe that Jelly Norum is our mother, and she spends so much bloody time with Gus and trying to help Gus and fix Gus, and we just want to get her attention. So we steal these things, and we're like, Mom, but that thing that kids do to get their parents' attention.
Yeah.
So that was my theory. And then we have another theory that Mungo thinks that McCavity is our father, but he doesn't tell Rumpleteazer. Rumpleteazer doesn't know. So we've got a lot of theories.
I love it. So the McCavity one I've definitely heard, because I think that's there's some, a little bit of maybe you're doing some of the crime for him. And so that's the father figure for that, but not a good father. And then there's the Jelly Lorum's interesting because it's usually Jelly or Jenny Any Dots are the two that I hear most for mothers. And I think a lot of this is just, there's only so many in the age range, when you start breaking out who's the generations of the cats, it's well, there's only a couple choices that are probably mom. So you net out. But I like the idea that it's she's spending so much time with Gus, with our grandpa. Is it grandpa or just
I don't even know.
Some random old guy that she just won't leave alone.
She just loves this guy.
And that's why you're taking that Chanel bag so that you can get her
get her attention.
Get her attention.
Yeah. But I agree that we are
fun.
A little bit spoiled, actually. The irony is that I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to look for designer bags to steal. You're not taking some some small, fake knockoff brand. You got to go. You got to go for the real stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have enjoyed this so much. How can people stay in touch? Like, let's share your social media too, because you all are doing so much fun things. How can people follow along on you?
Yeah, I'm loving social media at the moment. So I am using mostly TikTok and Instagram. My Instagram is Tan_Levick. So it's TAN_LEVICK. And then on TikTok, I am Tan Levick. So it's TANNLEVICK. And I mean, I make music too. So I'm on Spotify, on Apple Music. That's my name is Tannah on all those platforms. And
amazing.
Because you all got to have a side hustle as well.
That's right. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here talking about cats randomly.
Exactly.
So, we'll link all of that, and then we'll also link how to get tickets to all the other stops in case you're listening in a place that you're all going to be. I can't wait for y'all to go. Have you been to Singapore before? Because it's one of my favorite places.
I actually was on tour with We Will Rock You, and we went to Singapore.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like one of the greatest places in the world.
It's so cool. So. It's so clean.
Yeah. It's awesome. So. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your theories, your stories. Thank you for listening and supporting.
Yeah, I love it.
I love that this was a research tool. That's such a fun thing for me to learn. And I hope many, many people go see you. And maybe I'm trying to figure out if I can see you all as a stop on one of the tours. But you're going further and further away from where I live.
I know.
With every stop you go.
Yeah.
But this has been so fun.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Honestly, I could talk for hours about this.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have you back when it's after the end of the run when you've got more theories.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and thanks everyone else for listening to this episode of The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. To follow, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or else podcast. Follow us on social media at The Wrong Cat Died, or check our website, thewrongcatdied.com.